A very good afternoon and a warm welcome to all. On behalf of the SB Partners Top Management Entrepreneurship Development Cell, I, Dr. Aishwarya Gopalakrishnan, would like to invite you to the session on Strategies for Business Creation. Our guest for today is Mr. Sachin Vaidya, Director, Vaisens Private Limited. Welcome, sir. It's a pleasure to have you with us here today.
It's my pleasure to.
I would like to introduce Sir to you all. Sir has a BE Mechanical Engineering degree from Jawaharlal Nehru Engineering College, Marathwada University. His areas of interest are channel management, negotiation, and sales management. And he has an experience in sales and new business development. Students are requested to please keep your mics on silent and do not disturb the session. Yes, I'd like to continue, sir. Sir has an experience in sales and new business development for more than 17 years. He has a diverse knowledge and experience of dealing with customers through integrated marketing solutions and a consultative approach. He is skilled in formulating and developing sales strategies successfully, along with a strong team management capability. He is excellent in new business development by foraging partnerships in fast growing markets like rural India and SAR countries. He has an in depth knowledge of how manufacturing processes formulate and manage P&L for new product development programs and providing leadership to cross functional teams. His specialities are sales and operations management, competitor analysis, sales strategy, program management, pre and post water treatment, pumping solutions for HCA, plumbing, agriculture, and power hydraulics. Presently, he is the director at Basins Private Limited, and previously he has worked with companies in various positions. To name a few, we have Xylem Inc., where he worked as the general manager sales. He's worked with ITT Corporation, which in the same role that is general manager sales for motion and flow control. Sir has also worked in the position of program manager marketing as well as a regional sales manager with Eaton Hydraulics. He also has experience in the position of key accounts manager at SKF India Limited and Saint Gobain Abrasives. Welcome, sir. It is a pleasure to have you with us here today. And I would request you to please take charge and address our students.
Correct. So let me start it by sharing my slide.
Sir, are you able to hear us well?
Yes, I can hear you all well.
Okay, sir, I request you to please increase the volume from your end because we are not able to hear you very clearly, sir.
Sure, I will do that.
Yeah. Thank you so much, sir.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
A little more higher, sir. A little more higher if you can. It would be
Okay.
better, I think, if you could close your window. Maybe the voice level could be a little better then, sir.
Okay. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you all. Now this is the the starting point. Generally, I do it because I worked in the companies where they had offices across the country. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Audible.
See, if you can just anywhere you feel that I'm not able to hear or there is some breakage of uh, transmission and all, please let me know in advance. Okay.
Can you increase your laptop, volume, sir?
Yes. How is it now?
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So, guys, good morning, good afternoon. My name is Sachin Vaidya. and I'm not a trainer, so I'm a businessman. I'm a farmer, I'm an engineer, and everything else other than a teacher. But in last 20 years of my experience, I become a good mentor. And you know what is the mentor is? Mentor is not a guru, mentor is not a god. Mentor is the person who tells you how to walk, who tells you how to fare, who tells you what to learn and what not to learn. So I just thought of sharing my experience with you all. Uh, I'm basically from Aurangabad. I'm an engineer by education. I'm a mechanical engineer. I completed my mechanical engineering in 1996 from Aurangabad and joined corporate world. So till 2012, I worked at various capacities, but my core competency is in sales and then in general management. In 2012, ultimately, I got retired. You know what is retirement means? That means I earned enough by which I can spend my life the way I want to. My family has been secured, everything has been done. And then I went for a farming, hardcore farming with a challenge saying that many people say that farming is not a profitable business. I wanted to prove them wrong or prove myself wrong, whichever way. So 2 years I went and did a hardcore farming in my farm. I purchased a farm in Konkan and ultimately found the lacunas in the farming business. But the farming can be profitable. So I came out. I started a small company called as Summer Rose Eco Ventures Private Limited. They are into taking the farms on contract and selling them the finished product to the market. Now it is a 5-year-old company. So in 2019, I came out of that company from a management role and I started a startup, which is MidPro Private Limited. We are into manufacturing and supply of technology, equipment and ingredients for alcoholic beverage, but not necessarily alcoholic, even non-alcoholic, as well as in Ayurvedic medicine preparation. So basically a fermentation technology. And simultaneously, I started alcoholic beverage business too, because I found that there is a money there, there is expertise there is a good opportunity and a niche there. You know what is that? That is called as, where is it? Okay, that is called as blue ocean theory. So I found that there is an ocean available where there are no sharks. I can make money. So I went there. So we'll discuss few of the strategies, what I adopt generally in my day-to-day business, as well few fundas, some gyan, because gyan is important. If you don't have the gyan, you cannot accommodate that gyan into a business environment. So gyan is important, very, very important. So for some gyan and some actual experiences. So what is entrepreneurship? I like this word, dhanda. It's a dhanda. It's a business. This is a perfect word. Dhanda means transaction. Dhanda means relationship. Dhanda means give and take. Right? So what is give and take? So what you do as an entrepreneur? So you either make a product by innovation, by finding the need in market, something new, or you climb on a running train, which is called as trade. That means there is a business available, you become a franchisee of somebody. And then you start selling. You don't make it, you just buy and sell. There, the importance is finding a niche and profitability and improving the efficiency of a transaction. And the third one is serve in a very niche market. In today's Corona environment, what is the niche serve? Okay, I will tell because this is one way. So one-way communication. So I will tell. Right now, the
Yes, sir.
okay.
Sajid, sir.
So yes, can you hear me well? No issue.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I can hear you.
Okay. So in today's environment, the niche in serve is anti-infectant. That means you take over the factory and disinfect it. That is a service in niche. So there are many people who have found out the liquid chemical solution methodology by which the complete disinfectation can happen in the factory. So this is basically a dhanda. Either you make it, you trade it, or you serve it. So for any entrepreneur, anything you do will always fall to this category. Either you make it, you trade it, or you serve it. Now we will go to important concepts of business. So there are 3 P's of business which I follow very religiously: product or service, price, and people. They are very important component of business. If any of it is not there, your business collapses. So let us go one by one in all 3 P's of the business. Spelling mistake, but please excuse me for that. It's a triple S, so it should be double S. Okay. So let us say product. So what an entrepreneur does or he should do is always in the lookout of finding a niche in market, right? You know, when I became a businessman, the more of business opportunities I say no, then I say yes, because you really need to find out a niche. Example, when Corona struck, okay, the plastic hoods were the niche in market. There are many manufacturers, plastic molders, who became huge profitable by just making that plastic hood, by which generally all doctors and nowadays even people on the road also wear that. But after 2 months in Corona, if somebody says that I want to again start manufacturing, he is not operating in niche anymore, right? So always an entrepreneur always is in lookout for a niche, either in product or in service. Once he identifies the product or a service, he makes a decision whether he wants to make it. How to make it then? By contract manufacturing, or by rebranding, or by having your own manufacturing plant. But manufacturing plant is the costliest because it requires a capital. But remaining 2 are cheapest options. Either a contract manufacturer, that means manufacture it in somebody else's plant, or buy it from him, tell him, make an agreement with him saying that I will rebrand, that means my brand, your product. So these are the 3 opportunities available in the market once you identify the product or service. Then price. This is again a very important parameter. If you are operating in a blue ocean, I will come to that. What is that blue ocean means? Then you have a freedom of pricing as per your requirement, up to the maximum pricing level. But you are operating in a red ocean where there are a lot of competitors, lot of price going on, fight going on, then there is always the limitation on your price positioning. So you need to really understand where this product fit in. Either you make it into a blue ocean, I will discuss that subsequently, how to make your services in a blue ocean, or be ready for the fight in the market. Then third one is the people. Very important parameter or important resource. You should always hire skill. Don't hesitate to hire a person who is superior to you as a businessman, because you are not in a job, you are in a business. You need better people around than you yourself, right? And please understand this, you're not self-employed when you're an entrepreneur. You are the person who will be putting people on job, not yourself. Your ultimate aim is you should retire, sit at home, and still your company should keep on working for you. That is the entrepreneur, right? This is called as money working for you. Okay. So you will learn subsequently, not in this slide, but you should learn this, read some books. So basically you should hire skill. Do not hesitate to hire a person superior to you. And third one is collaborate. Not everybody will get hired, or you will not pay for their services. There can be sometimes a thank you also. This is the collaboration, right? You don't really exchange the working hours. You exchange the skills or input, and that is collaboration. We'll discuss about that in this. Right. So Gyan, what is blue ocean theory? This is somewhere in 2000. A book is being written and published by Harvard Press, called as Blue, with the name Blue Ocean Theory. It's a fantastic concept, which was so new at that time, and it revolutionized. In fact, my job prospectus, I was in a job at company called as Eaton. So what it says is that you operate, find out your area. Huge ocean is your marketplace, right? Huge area. You find out your niche wherein there are no competitors. But tell me, if the product is existing product, then how you should create a niche? This is the example which I picked up from internet anyway, but it was very very apt uh, slide or the example. This is the example of a cellular phone supplier. You know why Jio is so popular and famous and making so huge money? Please analyze the business case using blue ocean theory. You will understand that Ambani's has created a blue ocean for themselves where none of the cellular service provider could manage to enter into. And in fact, when the prices of data is so cheap, but Ambani's are making huge money because they are operating in a blue ocean cellular market. I want you guys to please go and search and find out more about Jio's progression into the cellular phone market using blue ocean theory. What it says is these are the value curves. That means every company or every service provides certain value to its consumers. So for cellular phone, these are the values like nationwide coverage, international roaming, advanced data feature, premium content, then prestige brand marketing. Everything was same. There were traditional prepaid cellular providers there fighting with each other, bleeding to death. Then came few people. Audio quality, unlimited usage, completely fixed cost, advanced presence in the messaging, and pricing is higher or moderate than most of the people. And that's the reason why many of us have switched to a blue ocean service provider in cellular market. So basically what it says is that you create first of all the factors which none of the other players are providing. Then you raise the factors which others are providing to the level which they have never thought of. Then third, you eliminate few of the factors which are not important. And then fourth, you reduce the cost below or just to the level of normal standard pricing or factors. These are very simplistically said, but these are the important steps every entrepreneur should design his product and services before he enters into the business. This should be the part of the business plan. This should be part of your business plan. Hope you understood this. We will take the question at the last. Please park your questions, okay? So I can answer them well. You design your product or service using different theories, gyan, but you need to utilize them. Don't discount it off saying that this is only पुस्तकी ज्ञान है म्हणून. नहीं होता है भैया ऐसा. उसको आपको adaptable बनाना पड़ता है, लेकिन ज्ञान तो remain ज्ञान, only you name it differently. Right? It is better that you carry your books to your job or to your businesses and you sleep with them, because gyan is important. Blue ocean theory is important parameter. It is valid for last 10 years now, right? Every successful business, you can link it to blue ocean theory. There are many people who come from those successful business and vouch saying that we worked on blue ocean theory. We worked on value curve. We identified competitor. We identified where they stand. And we designed our own strategy in terms of product or service. Now, next is price or money management. Taka. Again, a very apt word. Okay. So you need to understand how money moves. Let us take an example. I am an individual, common man. Okay, I go for a job. I earn 5,000 rupees, comes home. Now, I come home and start my TV. And I pay 600 rupees per month for whatever I watch on TV. Right? Now, what is that 600 rupees for that person? Can he spend 700 rupees for better content? Or he is always looking out for low value and low content? You know Netflix? Costlier than a TV, old TV, cable, but making huge money. So you need to understand what are the aspirations of that common man, how he wants to spend his money, how the money is moving for him, right? Then understand why somebody will pay for your services. The same way just now I talked about it, Netflix. Understand as an entrepreneur, difference between markup and margin. Most of the people think that they are same. They interchangeably use that. My markup is this much, my margin is this much. They are different. One of it hits your balance sheet, the other one doesn't. Margin hit your balance sheet, markup doesn't. Okay. So when you're talking with a distributor, you talk about markup. When you're talking internally, you always talk about margin. Okay. The hint for entrepreneur. Then capital. See, this is the price. This is what you will find out how your customers are going to pay, how much they are going to pay. But for a businessman, you need capital, right? So from where to get a capital? I will give you the hint. If you go to the bank with a business plan, they will never invest in you. They will say that bring your 3 years balance sheet and then we'll decide whether to fund you or not. So your first option is you or your family. Please keep this in mind. If your father is not investing in you, nobody will. So first of all, go. If you have a good business plan, go and pitch that business plan to your father. Because he knows how the money moves in market better than you all. Because of his age experience. Then your friends. That means multiple fathers, friends father, friends family. So two friends coming together and investing in a venture. Then government. Government promote few of the businesses and they give good amount of loan. So you should know what kind of a loans, what kind of a schemes government provide, right? Right now government is promoting the basic ingredient or basic formulation of many of the medicines because they want to become independent of China. It's a good business opportunity. Government is funding. And the last option is bank. But bank will never lend you money unless they keep some collateral, your own asset. And that's the reason why they are the last option. But if you run your business for 900 days plus, bank will line in your doorstep to fund your business. They will line up. I experience. So always run your business for 3 years well. If you can run it for 900 days, few people say 1,000, few people say 1,200. For me, it is 900. You have survived. The banks will fund you. But if you don't survive for 900 days, you cannot survive any longer. So somewhere you have made a mistake. The third one, most important thing is how to formulate a company. Take my example. I have 4 companies running at the same time. The first company is the holding company where all my funds are. All my intellectual property is registered in that company, but that company is not doing any business. All other business making companies are the front end companies like Summer House, like MidPro, like Kuva Beverages, and a number of for future. But my holding company is always Visons Private Limited. Now companies can be of different form, proprietor, LLP, and private limited. Can you mute yourself, please?
Mute your mic, please. I'm requesting all the participants. Please do it.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. So proprietor, please understand, proprietor is the highest risk. Proprietor means if your business fail, the bank will enter your home. Can you please mute it?
Yes, sir. Already I given the instruction to them, right? They are doing it, sir. They are doing it.
Okay,
We are muting, right?
sure. So proprietor is the most risky affair. You know why? Because there is no limitation to liability. If you make a loan for your company in market, they can come to your home to recover it. The second option is limited liability partnership. It is again a proprietorship, it again a partnership, but liabilities are well defined. And the safest is a private limited, where you put your fund, your liabilities are limited to the funds of the company. You have nothing to do with company other than being whatever your shareholding is. But private limited are difficult to maintain because you need a lot of expertise in terms of CAs, company secretaries, documentation, filing, and everything. So these are the basic three company formations: proprietorship, limited liability partnership, and private. Okay. So now let us assume that you have defined your product or service using blue ocean theory. You have good price. Now what next? Next is Porter's 5. This is the concept. These are the concept we use day in, day out in our company. Day in, day out. If they are not part of the business case, we don't even look at the business case. Very important. You should buy this book. Competitive Advantage by Michael Porter. Little bit costly, but very important. You need to highlight whatever you want to understand from the book. You need to thoroughly read it and make the notes and implement them. The first analysis, okay. The concept is Porter, known fact, but Porter has defined that there are 5 forces which are always acting on any company or any proposition, value proposition. And because of those forces, that value proposition becomes unstable. That means sometimes it makes money, sometimes it doesn't. And for such threats, the entrepreneur needs to create a strategy to counter it. That is the Porter's 5 force analysis. What it says is that there are 5 forces which are acting in the market. One is competitive rivalry. Second one is threat of substitution. Third one is threat of new entrant. Fourth is bargaining power of supplier. And fifth is bargaining power of customers. Let us take one example one by one. Competitive rivalry means how fiercely two competitors are fighting and how unstable the decision making is at the competitor. One example, real life. I launched an alcoholic beverage. There was a competitor available, big competitor. His pricing was 220 rupees per bottle. My pricing, I launched it at 199. You know, within 2 months, I was very small, not even 10% of my competitor. You know what my competitor did? He reduced his price to 185. That is competitive rivalry. I will come to that, how I countered. Then second one was threat of substitute. That means if you have a customer who is using your services, what is the threat that services will get substituted by something else? Example, earlier, I don't know whether you know or not, there was something called as pager. That is a messaging device. It had the highest threat of substitute because that pager was in action for 1 year, might be Motorola pager, and it has been substituted within 1 year by mobile phones. And that's a Motorola had a big hit in market because of that. So for any service or any product, you need to find out what is the threat of substituting it by something else. The threat of new entrants. That means if you are into a blue ocean Nobody's there. You are the king. What is the threat that a new entrant can easily enter into it? That means, what are the blockages for a new entrant to enter? Let us say mobile. In mobile, because it is been governed by government, the new entrant threat is very limited. Very, very limited. Whereas, let us say my beverage or food products, if I am supplying custard apple pulp, anybody can come in market and start supplying, right? So the threat of services, you need to find out the threat from a new entrant. Then the fourth is bargaining power of supplier. That means how powerful are your supplier? If they are very powerful, they can close down your shop with no time by asking for price increases. They bargain. And the last one is the bargaining power of the customer. How powerful are the customer and how powerful they are for bargaining for price reductions or the increases in services. So basically, these are the 5 forces Michael Porter has envisioned and put into place with examples in this book. A real gem of a book. Again, this concept has got no depth in the market, right? They are so much valid for last might be 15 years now. Okay. Now this is what I just explained: the threat of new entrant, the substitute, the bargaining power of customers, the bargaining power of supplier, and competitive rivalry, right? So all these forces will either reduce your profitability or push you out of the business. And when you, as an entrepreneur, when you are designing your basic services or product, you need to consider these 5 forces and put the strategy for countering them. Always, every time, any new business I enter into, unless I understand these 5 forces and I devise a strategy, might be initial, might be changing over a period of time. But to start with, unless I have these 5 force analysis done, I don't touch the business case from anyone. No one. And if I'm making it, I will make sure that a lot of emphasis is being put on the Porter's 5 force analysis. Now, which are the factors which are active on these forces? So let us say one by one: competitive rivalry. So your advantage, whatever you are designing, is it sustainable? Is it really innovative product? What is the competition between online and offline? How much they are advertising competitors? Like example, I launch my alcoholic beverage product. I sell 100 cases. My next competitor sell 2 lakh cases per month. So my competitive rivalry, I know that within a snap, they will push me out of the business. So I have a strategy devised for that. Then threat of substitute here. Buyer propensity to substitute. What are the chances that your services or the product will get substituted? So buyer switching cost, number of substitute, products available in the market, and ease of substituting. These are the parameters by which you find out your potential factors for threat of substitute. Bargaining power of customers, buyer switching cost same, buyer information availability, how much information your buyer knows about your product. One example, in let us say car automobile industry, they have few costing people who just by looking at component, they can make the costing up to 10% plus minus. I was shocked when I experienced this when I was in industrials, in the corporate world. I was shocked. I always thought that my pricing is hidden, but my customer was knowing my pricing better than me. Shocked. And that's the reason why automotive industry is very competitive. Now let us take an example of uh, mobile phones. Nobody knows their costing. I don't know why some products are so cheap and Samsung and Apples are so costly, right? So all these people have made it so opaque that my bargaining power has gone, or even computers, hardware. Then fourth one is bargaining power of suppliers. Supplier switching cost relative to the firm switching cost. That means supplier switches the cost, then I increase the price. Got it? So when they increase their cost, they eat into my profits. Degrees of differentiation of inputs. How much specialized is my supplier? If he is really specialized, he is operating in blue ocean, I'm dead, because at any moment of time he can kill me by just increasing my pricing. Impact of input on cost and differentiations. So whatever you use it as an advantage to your market is a disadvantage from your supplier. So always look for the generalized services and inputs and make innovative products in your market. Then the threat of new entrants, the existing barrier to entry. How much is barrier? Like my alcoholic beverage, it's a huge barrier. Government has to give licenses and they don't give. So if I get a license, I'm the most fortunate. So new people coming in is very difficult. Same way, valid for uh, mobile services, that is telephony and internet. But let us say mobile, or let us say bulbs, or let us say food, grains. There is no barrier for supply. And that's the reason you need to consider all these factors. I'm not saying that this is good or that is good or this is better or that is better. Okay. But you need to identify as an entrepreneur what are those 5 factors running and how to counter them in your initial design phase itself. So Porter 5 and Blue Ocean Theory, these are the two concepts as an entrepreneur I use day in, day out without fail. Without fail. The third parameter after pricing and profit are people. As an entrepreneur, you need to have skilled people around you. They are not the people who are on hire because they are too costly. So you need to identify a good CA and a good CS, company secretary, and a good lawyer. These are the 3 bricks or 3 pillars of your business. A good company, chartered accountant, a good company secretary, and a good lawyer. These are important people you need to keep around. From today itself, you start identifying these people in your house, nearby your house, in your family, in your city, your friends. But please, if you want to go into entrepreneurship, starting your own business, have these 3 people around. Hire them right now itself. Negotiate with them, saying that how much are your charges? Let us understand. And engage them and their services. Finding a good CA, company secretary, and lawyer. I cannot emphasize more than this. Very important people around. You need to have branding people. Very, very important. Nowadays is the attention economy. They call it as attention economy. That means I have 24 hours of my attention and there is a fight going on. Out of that 24 hours, how many times, how much I sleep? Let us say 8 hours. So out of 24, what are that 14 hours remaining? How much is of that attention out of 14 hours are being captured by whom? Totally depending on artist. Then IPR or trademark lawyers, important people. None of your services, if you are innovative, or none of your brand should go in market without protecting it through trademarking or IPR, intellectual property protection. Then what comes is the hire with cost, very important concept. Spend money to hire these people. You have to spend money, you have to consider this in your business plan. You cannot say that I let me start a business and let me see afterwards how much I have to pay to artists and how much I have to pay to IPR lawyers and CA and CS. They are your starting capital requirement. So hire with cost. And for people management, The most important, which I consider subsequently after you have these people, are networking. Network, 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 network. Have a business mentor. You know, you will find a lot of people who have already walked this path. Search them now itself. Have somebody with you as your mentor. Discuss, discuss, discuss with them. Refine and be ready before you come out of your college days to start entrepreneurship. Or in fact, during your college days itself, test it, try it. You have sufficient time. Just do it, right? The last concept in people management, which gave me a lot of benefit, is never eat alone. I used to travel a lot across globe within India, 20 days travel. I never ate alone. I even don't eat alone when I'm outside. At a home nowadays, Corona, so fine with family. But when you are outside, always call people to have a food with you. Never eat alone. It's a good concept. What happens is that you always keep on searching for people and you calling them, they become your friends. They tell you a lot of things, they reveal a lot of things. There is a connect which gets generated when somebody eats with you. Never eat alone. These are all fundas, the gyan, right? Now I will share with you my business strategy. Uh, I have adapted it from my mentor because we used to discuss a lot, and then I adopted it. This is very fantastic strategy for a startup company, right? Think big, start small, but run fast. You know what does this mean? This is the core ideology of our business. All our businesses are on this concept. All my employees ask each other, are we thinking big? Are we starting small? Are we running fast? What we dream is what we create, very clear. So always we dream big and we think big. But that doesn't mean, let us say example, when I start my company, I always think about at least 6 states, 6 to 7 states. Is it? Okay, just a minute. Okay. Hope you can hear me now. So think big. So whenever we start any business in India, we think about at least 6 states. The business plan is for 6 states, but we don't implement that plan on the same month. We start small, not even a district, might be city, but we run fast. That means our actions are pretty fast. You know what happens? Any errors or any mistakes are small mistakes and fast mistakes. We don't repeat our mistakes. Any cost associated with mistake is so small that all my employees and including me are allowed to make mistakes because they are very small financially, time wise, resource wise, everything. But we are pretty fast. We don't repeat our mistakes. So my organization is learning. This is a tested and proven strategy. This is my fourth company. In fact, I implemented this in my earlier organizations also.
अब पूरे देश में शुरू हो गई है। ऐसे में अपने घरों से बाहर कभी निकलने का बहुत आवश्यक हो। Please करें या माफ for continuation.
Okay. Very tested and proven strategy. Okay, you can adopt this. Start, think big, make a business plan which is all India. But start with a city, might be a district, might be a pin code. and run fast. Now, every component I will just discuss here. Think big means make a business plan, make a market survey, capture voice of customer, position the product well using blue ocean theory, decide market entry, which market to enter, how to enter, make a complete plan of India. But start small. Initial sales setup might be city, might be pin code and service setup. Then expand direct and channel. Start running fast. Once you know that your product and business is profit making, you have to scale it. Just run fast. Explore warehousing and product to market options, right? Explore different options of taking the product to the market. Direct, channel, whatever. Run fast means go for manufacturing setup. Small setup, subcontracted. Know your cost. All are indirect costs and all are variable costs. No fixed cost. Expand geographical coverage. Talk about efficiency. Go for ERP. Go for business scorecard matrix. I hope you know all these concepts. This is Kaplan and Norton business scorecard. Fantastic concept. All implemented in my organization. Then put money into manpower improvement, training. This is all part of run fast. Think big, start small, run fast. Right? Now, these are the important steps. You want to adopt, you can adopt. You want more clarification, you can call me, ask, meet me, no issue. But create your business strategy, the core concept, the core DNA before you move into. Just say that, oh, I started a business, I started a shop. Don't do that. If you have a running business at your home, go and discuss with your father. Don't challenge him because he has spent his heart into increasing that business, right? Or maintaining that business. Make small adjustments, but work with a strategy. This is the time when you can think, because you are right now studying. Think about your business core strategy. Refine. Talk to your mentor, talk to your professors, talk to your lecturers, and refine it. Right? Now, yeah, but implemented. So these are few of the important financial ratios which day in, day out we maintain or we display. This is basically KPIs or key performance indicators or key key performance indicators. These are my business performance indicator, every day displayed, every day calculated, every day worked on. How to improve gross profit margin, how to improve returns on asset, what decisions needs to be taken, what is the debt to equity ratio, what is the interest coverage, what is the current ratio, what is the quick ratio. Quick ratio is basically liquidity. What is the inventory per day turnover, how to improve, how to increase inventory turns per day. What is the days sales outstanding? What is the DPO? Payable outstanding. What should be the ratio between DSO and DPO? Whether my vendors are running my business or I am running their business. You understand? When DPO is more than DSO, my vendors are running my business. When DSO is more than DPO, that means I am running my vendor's business. Okay. Then PPE turnover, then sustainable growth. These are the 10 parameters. I want you to write it down or take a screenshot and go and search. I can give right now. What does that mean? It is not sufficient. You need to go and learn them. All these 10 business parameters, which are part of my business. Everyone in my business, associated people know this parameter. Their incentive, their salary, their promotion is based on this. Day in, day out. You need to keep track of these important ratios. Now, if I can take one or two if you want, okay, but I want you to go and search and learn from these financial ratios. They are important they might get covered. There might be some of the ratios which might not be covered into education side. They are derived ratios, right? Let us say example, quick ratio. Quick ratio is your current assets, company assets, minus your inventory divided by current liabilities, right? Your inventories are no more considered into this. What it means is that if tomorrow, if your company needs to be liquidated, whether you can pay your liabilities or not, very important, very, very important ratio to understand. It should be always more than 1 to make sure that your company is liquidatable. Okay, but truly speaking, it should be always more than 4. That means your company's assets, including outstanding in market, should be more than liabilities. Liabilities means you're outstanding in the market. Let it be rent, let it be your vendors, let it be your salary, whatever it is. Minimum 4. Right? So like this, you need to really start working on these ratios to understand. And right now you have to learn and mug them up because they are important. Nobody was there to tell me this. This is what I learned over a period of time. Right? There are few ratios which you will find out in some of the Google if you Google them. Okay, they might not be into education curriculum. Okay? Right. So this ends my presentation. Okay. Now let us say if somebody wants to make a business case, you need to have a projection of all these 2 parameters into your business case and make your business case, including these ratios, saying that over a period of time, how your quick ratio will improve, how it will improve, how you are improving the sales, what is the current ratio, how you are going to change it, what are the tabs you are putting on to find out current ratio, right? Business case is accumulation of all these preparations into a document. You can find out lot of formats for business case on Google. So I'm not going into a format side, right? But all these factors which I discussed just now should be part of your business case. So here I stand my case. Any questions? Now I will ask moderators to intervene.
Sachin sir, thank you so much. And the way you explained, right, how any person can start their own venture, what kind of challenges or maybe opportunities, or maybe you talk about different blue ocean theory and all, right? Sir, before jumping into the student, and the entire crowd as a faculty,
Yeah.
what do you think? If I'm a layman, right? In terms of I don't have any idea about entrepreneurship, what is altogether, right? But I want to start something, right? And rightly said by you, if you are having business plan, first show it to your parents, right? Your dad, right? They're the
Yes.
first person who can judge you, right?
Yes.
And if he is satisfied, you can show to anybody, right?
Yes.
So what do you think, before making the business plan, what kind of information or what kind of things we should put in the business plan, sir?
Yeah.
Or I'm a fresh ideas I'm having, right? How I'm going to inculcate all my fresh idea into business plan?
Sure. So I will take you again to one of my slide. You can see this?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yeah. So when you start about business, okay, you first of all you need to that into paper, pen and paper, because my understanding is only 30% of the business ideas survive once they put on paper, right? Because you yourself will find out the lacunas or the gaps. So first thing what you should do is identify the niche. You know what is the niche in market right now?
Yes,
Any
yes.
idea? I will tell you the niche.
Right.
Okay. The footwear is the niche in market right now because government of India has stopped procuring it from China. Right? If somebody is there who want to start manufacturing of footwear, right now is the niche in the market. So, as an entrepreneur, you should be always in the lookout for the niche. Okay, for the niche market. So that is the first part. Rishi sir.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you so much. Now, forum is open to all, right? If you have any doubt, any queries, you all can ask anything. Reason being the way Sachin sir has explained, it was very simple, and he was about to discuss on pricing strategy. How, as an entrepreneur, I'm going to design the price, right, sir? Sachin sir.
Yes.
Yeah. If you have any question, you can ask to Sachin sir. Guys, forum is open to all. Please, you can raise your hand. Yes, Ashish.
Sir, actually, I want to ask about, you just mentioned about markup and margin. So can you elaborate that?
Sure. Markup and margins are percentages. You know that, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you have a selling price, you have a cost, right? And you find out the difference. Let us say my selling price is 100, my cost is 80. Difference is 20 rupees, right? Now, margin and markups are percentages, and you need to figure out those percentages are taken on what, right? On the sales price or on the cost, right? The margin is the money available with you. It goes and hits your balance sheet. Okay. The markup is just a markup on my selling price, on my cost. So the difference between against what you are taking the percentage defines markup and margin. Right? If let us say if I go to market and if I tell my distributor saying that I will give you 20% margin, actually we are talking about markup. That means let us say my sales price is 20 rupees, right? And my markup or whatever margin I told my distributor as 20. What I do is that I take the margin from my selling price, not on my cost, right? So you try to figure out the cost to him. You need to really work on this concept of margin and markup. These are intermittently used based on the advantages. I use it to my advantage in market. In most of the calculator, okay, business calculator, the financial calculators, markup and margins are two different buttons, right? Basically, in a short, it is the percentage on what base you are taking that percentage, on cost or on price. Markup is always looks more, but if you convert markup into margin, margins are always less for that markup. That means if your markup is 25%, your margin will be around 20. And that is what hits your business, hits your balance sheet. So if your business case is based on markup, as an entrepreneur, I will throw it off because it is misnomer. It is not right. Right? So please, when you are making a business case, always use margin and not markup. Margin are on cost. Markup is on sales price. Yes. So that's it.
Sir, you
Yes.
told us that your competitor lowered his price to 185. So how did you tackle that?
Yeah. Good question. Okay. Good question. Really good question. Okay. See,
Thank you.
price is the political number. You know what does that mean? Price is the value of the services my customer perceives it as price is not a reality. Cost is reality, right? For a businessman, right? So what I did is that when my competitor reduced its price, I holded on to my price for some time to understand whether my customers are making any judgmental decision. They didn't do. I maintained my prices. I started making 15 rupees more. My price was 199. 15 rupees more per unit than my competitor. After 6 months, my competitor matched my prices of 199. But for that time, I was making more money. Okay, so blue ocean and red ocean, the difference is this. It is in your mentality, right? Here, if you would have reduced my prices, I could have reduced my prices to 150. But then the ocean would have been blood. It would have been bloodbath in the market, and it is not good for the customers, neither for the customers nor for the companies. So I maintained my prices, and ultimately my competitor, which was big competitor, has to adjust his prices to my price levels. So you need to understand that price is a political number. It's not a reality, right? There is something called as volume to price curve. You must have heard about it, right? So let us say watch. Okay, it is 100 rupees watch. If I make the volume price to 0, what will be the volume? Let us say Apple phone. If Apple reduces its price to 100 rupees, the volume will be infinite. There will be everyone in the world who will be buying at 100 rupees Apple phone, right? Then let us say it increased to 200 rupees. So you need to plot a graph of volume to price and understand that sweet spot wherein you should price your product. Little bit gyan, but you should understand this. Plot for any services, plot this, start plotting. Let us say for Apple, start plotting for a pen, start plotting for something. At what price I can handle my customers, I can manage my customers or my ambitions. That should be your selling price, because it's always a political number. Cost is reality. Yes, so that's it.
Yes, guys. Have you any doubt or you want to ask something to sir? Sir, I'm audible to you, Sachin sir?
Yes.
Okay, fine. Now, sir, we are about to finish the session, right?
Yeah.
Sachin sir, thank you so much. Dr. Kirti ma'am is with us. She's a director SBPM, right? And we are very thankful to you, region being, at this for this time, it's very difficult for you also to get a time for us, right? And the way you explained entire concept, right? It was on a 5 force blue ocean, right? Blue ocean. You talk about 3 P's. That is very important. What I believe, right? You talk about your business plan. So, sir, thank you so much for the giving the entire input, and no doubt we are more excited for number of sessions from your end, right? So now I'm giving to Kirti ma'am, please.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
I actually sorry that I could not attend the previous session portion, but whatever I have at the end, I have seen it. It was interesting how you have explained the price and cost difference. Being a economics faculty, I really liked it. The short sentence within a 2-3 sentences, how you have explained them that what is important for startup. Rather than focusing on price, it is a cost which matter most. Because I teach marginal costing, average costing to the students many times, but explain in a real term is more important to them. Because maybe the terminologies in economics, they do not understand that easily the way you have explained it, that startup should focus on cost rather than price, because price is a perception, what customers carry along with him when he go to market. So it's our pleasure to have you on board for this session, and I know that students must have enjoyed your session thoroughly, because nowadays whatever the disruption has came into economy all over the world, such kind of session will definitely motivate students to start their venture. Maybe it is a small or big will matter later on. But at an initial stage, at least these kind of lectures will definitely motivate them to do something about what they are thinking in the form of idea in their mind, and it will support to the country's concept which Honorable Prime Minister has put on the record, that our people should start thinking of Atmanirbhar, where we are till now very much dependent on lot of other things in spite of having so much of knowledge in our own country. So I always feel that in spite of having so much of potential in our youth, why we never tried to tap it? And certainly this will help our students, such kind of lectures. And we will be happy, sir, if we share a MOU with you and you are ready to guide our students on such small topics, that how they can go and come forward to take a risk. So this will help college also, because MBA college I feel should not focus on just giving certificates to the students, but to make them real businessmen.
Yes.
I know it takes time over the period, but such small steps and association with people like you who have first-hand experience on how to go of ups and downs of startups will help our students, because Rishi is heading the ED cell, where we are planning to nurture such kind of concepts, and we want that more and more people should get on board along with us to join hands with us, so our students get benefited out of it. So once again, I would extend my sincere thanks on behalf of SB Patil. I thanks Rishi to bringing you on the board and sharing your views and thoughts with our students who are interested in doing something on a smaller scale, at least at the initial stage. But your continuous mentoring or guidance will help the students to get their vision clear, and over the period maybe we think that they will also become a good entrepreneur and start their own ventures. So thank you very much, sir, and look forward to have more association in many other terms.
Yeah, it's my pleasure to share my experience, and I think that touch with the youngsters brings a lot of new thoughts in my mind also when I'm sharing, and they will be of some help to even my own progression and my own company's progression.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Sachin sir, thank you so much, right? And it was because of ma'am, initiative, right? It was dream of ma'am. We want to start something, and within a short span of time, right? We are about to start, incubation center also, right? So no doubt, if time permits you, right, we'll sit together, we'll discuss something, right? So we see also we can discuss how we can start incubation center about college premises. And till now, sir, we are having 50 entrepreneurs, right? We have started in 2009.
Yeah.
Within 11 years academic journey, we have 50 plus successful entrepreneurs. So that is great achievements, right, sir?
Yeah.
So now we want to, we want to do it, other activities also, right? But I want, rightly said by ma'am, we want people like you, who can, give us the right opportunity, how we can go ahead, and what kind of industry problems you all are facing. As MBA grads, we can, we'll try to, solve the problem. So that is the initial, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Sachin sir, now share up screen बंद करेंगे, sir, please, sir. Can you please, sir. Sir, once again, thank you so much for your valuable time, and thank you so much all of my students. Really, on Saturday it was a holiday, I'll tell you, right? But still, sir, more than approximately 80 plus were there for the session. And really, I'm getting great feedback about your session, and the way you explained it was fantastic. And your language, your easiness, your concept. So what is the basic fundamental to start any venture? And our topic was starting for new venture, right? It was the most, it is upcoming, rightly said by ma'am, Atmanirbhar Bharat. We are having huge potential, but as a person, as a industry, we are not able to encash the potential. So no doubt, sir, we are going to, organize again session, and I want great input from your side for next session, what we can, start, or what, the way you have shared, we are going to work on that, sir. So thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
So shall I log out now from here?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
We are